Okay, so I'm going to start with reading a short story from my first book, A Storm Rages Within. It's called Love's Garden. The reason why I'm going to read this is recently I've been talking to a fellow that we have a difference of opinion on what love is, and I'm okay with that. I believe that we all need to be different and have differing opinions. But it's inspired me to put out there a little bit about my thoughts on love. And so I'm going to start with a story and kind of explain a little bit about where it comes from. I haven't really touched on my life a whole lot in depth, and I won't here either, because my goals are not to in any way hurt anyone that has been in my life, or to claim that those people are exclusively in the wrong or that I'm exclusively in the right, or vice versa. So I tend to not totally go into depth so as to protect those people, even if I don't like them or agree with what they've done. It's not for me to decide. But anyways, Love's Garden, and just so y'all know, I'll probably tear up, because when I was just proofreading it, I kind of did. A young couple wondering how to have a wonderful marriage approached a wise man early in spring to ask his guidance. His wisdom was known throughout the land. "Sir, we have been told you are very wise. Can we ask you how to make our marriage last forever?" the couple asked. "Absolutely, but you have to do something for me first. I need you to plant my garden and grow my garden and always be together while you work. If you do this, you can have half the produce, and I will answer your question. I need you to do this because I have grown old and don't move so great anymore. Do you agree?" "Yeah, it's the least we can do," said the couple. So all through spring and summer, the young couple worked, planting, weeding, watering, and harvesting. The old man would advise them what he wanted. At first the couple struggled, their thoughts differing on how it's done. They approached the wise men on many occasions to settle the arguments. The wise man always turned them away, saying, "You accepted my terms. Now if you want my wisdom, then you have to find a way to make this work." The couple would go back to work and learn to settle their differences. Finally, it came time to harvest. By this time, the couple almost seemed to read each other's minds as they worked, never skipping a beat. They approached the wise men with half the harvest and said, "We have done as you have asked. Can you please answer our question now?" The old man looked at them with a questioning eye and said, "It should be quite clear now. You have answered your question yourselves. Keep focused on staying together, which you did when I turned your arguments away. Your desire to be together overcame even your most difficult argument. Every time you weeded, raked, and watered, you learned how to nurture the love between you. It wasn't easy work, but you proved to each other it was worth it. Never think that marriage is not the same as tending a garden. You have to learn, nurture, and work together no matter what, or it will never will work. Or no matter what, it will never work." Sorry. You see, I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've paid attention. I've learned a lot about relationships, because I always wanted to have that great relationship, you know. And it turns out that in seeking it, I failed. I should have been seeking myself. That's a huge part of all of this, the first thing that you need to do in order for love in any relationship to work is for each individual person to love who they, well, love is such a strong word when it comes to love of the self. It leads to vanity. But you must like who you are. You must be happy with who you are. Most of us don't. We seek that happiness in other people. This will never, ever work. On top of that, you also need to learn to work together. And this takes patience, and it takes time. And you both have to put in the effort. I've said that there's no problems with saving the princess. However, the princess has to do her part in helping to slay the dragon. That's how you make a marriage work. There is no right way, there is no wrong way, so to speak. Of how to learn to work together. However, if you don't put in effort towards each other, if you don't spend time getting to know each other, if you don't learn how to show a person that you love them in a way that they understand, you will not succeed in any relationship. Every single person involved in any situation has to put in their fair share. Sometimes even if their fair share is, I'm not doing anything. Sometimes that's acceptable as long as the other person knows. Communication is key. It depends on what both people anticipate getting out of a relationship. From what I've seen and from what I've experienced, a lot of people view a relationship, especially a marriage, as almost like a business decision. People go in wanting something. Depends on the person. This case in particular, the person seemed as though they were taking ownership in the marriage. And they tried to argue that they were not. And that's fine. They have their own right to their own opinion. However, when the person said that the worker in the relationship has much more to lose than the person that's a stay-at-home person, they've given away what their intentions are, and that's ownership of the other person. And that's wrong. That's a business decision. Because later on down the road, if that other person wants to do something else other than stay at home and be the home caretaker, there's now a problem. And oftentimes this will cause marriages to end because of oppression. We live in a very oppressed culture that suppresses our feelings, and it gives certain people the false sense of superiority. Those things need to end also in order for love to work. There can be no superiority in love. There is compromise. There is honesty. There is trust. White lies are lies. Don't sugarcoat anything. If there's a problem, be honest about it. I'm not saying be rude, but be honest about it. Your marriage, your relationship will be better for it. Anyways, thanks for looking, guys. I love you. I hope you drew something from what I had to say today. And I look forward to seeing you all again. I love you guys. Thank you. Later.